Why do 93% of the world's leading multinational companies prefer certified professionals? Because they tend to be committed to higher standards and ethics and maintain an informed intercultural competency. Whether you're seeking to build a career or to upgrade your HR professional career, you need to get trained and certified at the HR Certification Center today. Our experience in training and certifying HR professionals is unparalleled. We're trusted to offer a comprehensive portfolio of advanced professional credentials for the HR professionals worldwide, and today, more than 500,000 HR professionals worldwide in 125 plus countries proudly maintain our credentials as a mark of higher professional distinction. HR Certification Center. Call or WhatsApp today on 0244 122 855.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are listening in from. Welcome to today's HR Certifications Information Session. And this session is proudly hosted by the HR Certification Center. My name is Silas aPHRi, and I'll be your moderator for this session. We are glad to have you here, so I would want to hear from you. Let's hear from you in the comment section and let's know where you are listening in from. So you can say maybe Kusia from Kaswa or Silas from East Legon. Just let's hear from you. Let's know that you are truly connected and you are ready to learn today. Okay, I have Philippa from Oyarefa. Philippa, it's nice to have you on the call today. Oh, okay. Then there's Rachel from Spintex. Rachel, it's nice to have you here. Okay, I have a few others coming in. And it's good to know that people are truly connected. So, once again, I'd like to welcome you and to let you know that we are glad to have you join in. And whether you are an HR professional or someone who is aspiring to be an HR professional, even if you are one who is transitioning from an industry into the HR space, I'd like you to know that you are in the right place today, because the purpose of today's HR session is very, very simple. We are here to help you to understand the value of becoming a certified HR professional. We're also here to help you to walk through the different certifications and have a clear understanding and know the distinct path to take. And lastly, the most important one, we are here to answer all your questions so that you can make good and informed decisions. So, once again, I'd like to welcome you, and I want you to stay to the end of today's webinar and ask your questions when the time is due. Before I hand over to our speaker for today, I want to set just a few guidelines to guide our conversation. So, the first one is that you can type in your questions in the chat at any time of the conversation. And when it's time for our Q&A, we are going to address each and every question so far as the time allows us to do so. Also, this session is being streamed on all our social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So you can feel free to visit them at any time so that you can refresh your memory and be able to make informed decision at your free time. So without further ado, let me hand over to our speaker for today in the person of Pearl P. Tehoda. And I'd like you to know that the one who is going to speak to us today is the Executive Director for the HR Certification Center. And she has very, very vast understanding of all the HR certifications we'll be talking about today. So feel free to ask your question in the chat box at any time, and we will take them during the Q&A session. Pearl, it's nice to have you.
Right. Silas, good afternoon, good evening, or good morning to you and your audience. Am I audible?
You are very, very audible, Pearl. It's nice to see you.
Right. Nice to see you too, Silas. And let me say a very welcome to our listeners or those joining us for this information session. We want to appreciate your time wherever you're joining from. We are glad you could make time. This session will last for an hour, and within this 1 hour, we will be telling you what it takes to become a certified HR or what it takes to become a chartered HR and the benefits you stand to gain when you have those credentials. We would also be exposing you to some relevant knowledge in the field of HR. And I'm sure that a lot of us on this call are wondering, international HR certification, are there other options? Why must I opt for the international version? You are at the right place because we will be providing that information to help you make your decision to enroll for our cohort number 44. My name again is Pearl. We would open up for questions. And if you have any concerns, you have any inquiries, we would want to hear from you. And so when that time is right, we will take your questions and we will provide answers to them. Okay, so let's go in straight. Salah, let me know if my screen is okay, if my slides are showing.
Yes, Pearl, your slides are showing.
Okay, all right, so let's look at the function of HR. And by the function, we are not referring to the HR department, but we are referring to the function, the practice of HR in Ghana and elsewhere. And we would dare say that there are four key functional areas of HR, key areas. There are four. but that is not to say that there are no other areas that the HR practitioner or the business executive should not be focusing on. Of course, there are other areas. And at the HR Certification Center, we would always say that you cannot do HR in isolation. You must fully appreciate the business you're supporting. You must fully understand the business environment, the business landscape, where the organization is coming from, where the organization is going. Once you have those fundamentals right, and you have the technical knowledge in HR, you are well positioned to deliver value for any organization that you would be supporting, right? So let's look at the first key functional area that we have stated out of research. In the past, we will look at the technical areas, but beyond the technical areas, we would also be looking at the non-technical areas. And one of such non-technical area is business knowledge, like I mentioned, the business environment. Every effective and efficient HR manager, every efficient and effective HR manager must first off appreciate the business environment that you support. Where is the business going? All right. Once you have that understanding, then you are fully positioned to do that. Then you may also want to look at issues of leadership. You are not just a technical manager in that department, but you're also looking at, the non-technical areas. You have people working with you. You have people reporting to you. What are you supposed to be doing? How are you supposed to be leading the people so that you both can deliver value for your stakeholders, all right? And then the other thing is working with strategy. And strategy, we are talking about the corporate strategy. We're also talking about the functional strategy. And that functional strategy, we are talking about HR. How are you positioned to deliver value for the organization you work with? All right, is my slide still showing?
Yes, Bill, your slides are still showing.
Okay. All right. So then we are talking about the business strategy. That is the corporate strategy that the organization will come up with. And then the functional head, which is HR, must position to fully appreciate where the business is going and then carve an HR strategy out of that functional strategy. It's important for every HR practitioner to understand issues of strategy. And issues of strategy, you have to understand how the business will get their what. So if you have a business strategy, how would you position yourself as a department, as an HR department, to get people aligned behind where the organization is going? How would people deliver value for the customer and by extension stakeholders? And so those are the strategies we are talking about. No HR can deliver that value if you are not well positioned and grounded. And just so you know, at the HR Certification Center, that particular module is delivered in our module 1, or that particular area is delivered in our module 1, right? And then for the second area, we are looking at workforce planning. Workforce planning is a technical area. And so before you even get to issues of how employees want to be managed, you have to, first of all, think about, how do I get people into the organization? Where is the organization going? What capabilities do I need these people to have? What skills must they have? And if I'm getting them in, at what level am I getting them into the organization? And if they are already in the organization, how am I positioning them for the future of the organization? So in this particular module, which is workforce planning, we are not just looking at recruitment and selection, but we're also looking at your ability to forecast your workforce before a financial year. So if we're in the year 2025, and at the end of the year, we have to go for strategy session and think about the talent or the workforce we would be working with in the year 2026, an effective HR manager must be positioned to forecast and you plan. So this is where we came from in the year 2025. This is where we would be going in the year 2026. What workforce is required to deliver on that vision for the organization? Do we have them already? And if we have them already, are they properly skilled? If they are not properly skilled, how do we get them to have the required skill for the new vision or the new direction of the organization? If we do not have them, how do we get them into the organization? And this particular function is handled in our module number 2. Then another technical area or function for the HR is learning and development, what in the past we would have been calling training and development. Very key area that every HR person or every business leader by extension must be well versed in. How you grow your people for the role now, how you develop them for the future of the organization. So you are not just training for the sake of training because your book says you must train, but you're training because this skill is lacking today. And so we have to get the skills into the organization. We are developing our people, or we are building this skill for them because this is what is required for the future of our organization. And it's handled in our module number 3. Then we come to total rewards, what others will call compensation and benefit, where we talk about what they take home, other benefits that are provided for them. And this is looked at in module number 4. Then we come to another technical area, which is employee relations. People are carved differently. We have different generations in our organizations, and we have them coming from different backgrounds. They want to be managed and led differently. And so issues on employee would come up. And as an effective HR, you must be positioned to deal with them. For those of us working in unionized environment and some working in non-unionized environments, how do we handle our people when they have issues beyond work? How do we ensure that they are well taken care of and are comfortable to be productive and help us deliver on that product promise? That's handled in module number 5. Then module number 6 is a special module that the certification body requires that wherever you are taking your certification tuition from, you must have this particular one. So for those of us practicing in Ghana and for HR Certification Center, we deal in the employment law knowledge, which is the Labor Act. And so the Labor Act and its supporting legislation, we're talking about LI 1822, LI 1833. We're also talking about other legislation. So we talk about the ADR Act, we talk about the Workmen's Compensation Act, we talk about the Factories and Shops Act. All of this put together is what guides the knowledge of employment in Ghana. You cannot just rely on the Labor Act, even though that is the mother document, but you must also fully appreciate information or knowledge in the supporting document to be an effective HR. And I dare say that you cannot be an HR, whether you're practicing in Ghana or not. You cannot be an HR and not be conversant with the employment laws of the country you're practicing in. And so because more than 80% of our candidates are from Ghana, you cannot be an effective HR manager and not understand the labor laws of Ghana. Not just understand it to be able to apply it. So you can read the letters of the law, but you must also appreciate the spirit behind the law. So the interpretation of the law. You must work with cases that have been done in the National Labor Commission and see how the issues are applied when a case is tendered in at the National Labor Commission. And that we handle in module number 6. So all of this is what we put together to say that you have become a strategic HR manager. Without that, just like the testament we've heard in the past where people would describe their HR managers as personnel managers, we want to be able to move away from that description. We have been saying, and I know a lot of us are aware of this statement, that people are the real asset of every organization. And if we all agree that people are the real asset, how come the manager or the custodian of the people is not well positioned to make sure that the assets are able to deliver on the promise that is made to the customer? We want every HR practitioner. If you're listening to us and you're an HR practitioner, or you have that HR practitioner in your company, or you're an employer on the call, and you have that HR manager, that HR officer, that HR assistant, or that HR intern, you want to ensure that you sign them up for this program, get them properly skilled to be able to handle the people that you have employed, and by extension, the ones that will deliver on this product promise. All right. So on the screen is our approved provider logo. So the certification provider is the Human Resource Certification Institute, HRCI, in US, Virginia, USA. And we are an approved provider. We have the mandate to prepare candidates to sit the professional exam. We have the mandate to ensure that once you are certified, after 3 years, you have to go through recertification. So we are both a tuition provider and a recertification provider for the Human Resource Certification Institute. Once you go on the HRCI's website, that is www.hrci.org, type in preparatory providers, and you will see the HR Certification Center there. If you want to do your own verification, you can send an email to HRCI on info@hrci.org with our approved provider number displayed on the screen, and then they would be quick to respond to you. Okay, so we will be talking about some value of professional certification, and we are not just looking at the HR certification, but by extension, any professional certification. It can be the Chartered Accountant Project, whatever certification that is done globally. All right. There are some values we gain beyond the classroom or the academic certificate we have received. Of course, the mode of teaching professional certifications are not the same as teaching the traditional programs in the classrooms. And of course, if you care to know, you need to have a first degree. You also need to have master's, first degree or master's, to be able to go through this program. And so there are values for professional certifications, and we have outlined just 4 to help you. And I know that you know the other values that you are likely to get if you go through any professional certification. All right. So the first value you would get is the demonstration of mastery and commitment to professional standards. You would gain that demonstration. What do we mean by demonstration of mastery? The HR certification program is a body of knowledge. What we mean by body of knowledge is a well-curated content or a well-curated curriculum to help you have a full understanding of the practice of HR. So that is what we mean by the body of knowledge. And you also belong to that body. And so from time to time, they would hold you accountable for what you must do as a practitioner. So after you go through the 6 months of tuition and you sit for that professional examination, you build for yourself that mastery and commitment to the professional body. Secondly, please pardon me, let me quickly switch off. Silas, let me know if that is working.
Okay.
All right. Please pardon me quickly. I'll do this in no time. So we can go on, and then when it's done, I'll let you know. So the second value you would gain from pursuing professional certification is your technical expertise to respond to key issues. Now, we are not saying that without going through professional certification, you will not have the technical expertise. But I dare say that content in a professional program is different from content in the... Silas, is it working?
No, please.
It's not. Okay. Please let me go back. Are you able to pull down my first slide?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So you work on that, and then I take our audience through the third area. So secondly, you build for yourself technical expertise to respond to issues. And like I mentioned, you can go through first degree in HR and even a second degree in HR, and you have some knowledge. I call it the theoretical knowledge of HR. What we do in the professional certification is to bring industry to the classroom. And so these are researched practices that are brought to the classroom. And so we are not just only looking at HR from the definitive perspective, but we're also looking at how HR is practiced in industry. And we also bring to you real-time cases. We take you through the technical knowledge, we take you through the non-technical knowledge, and we also take you through the employment law. Now, once you go through this, you have the technical expertise and you are able to respond to issues. And so you don't just guess your answers, or you don't just guess your practice, but you actually give it out of confidence that you know what works, you know what the law says, and then you are able to save your organizations from avoidable liabilities. All right. Now, the third area is the cross-cultural competence for international assignment. Now, we have organizations that work for both or have a presence in both the international market and the local market. As an HR person, you must be well positioned. You must have an understanding of how business is done in practically every domain that you have your business or your stakeholders represented in. You are not just leading people from Ghana. Now you go to organizations and you have a good representation of team members from all across the globe. How are you positioning to respond to such issues? Now, one of the key issues in HR, I know quite a number of us have been battling it, is issues of diversity, inclusion, and equity. You cannot run away from diversity. Even when we bring it to our local context, we are talking about diversity in different light. You have people coming from different regional backgrounds. You have people coming from different religious backgrounds, and you have to deal with all of that. One of the clear examples we got the last time was a subordinate who is I don't know if this is a good example, but a male Nodna and then a superior who is a female. And the male Nodna is supposed to take instructions from the female. And you see, per the cultural background of a male Nodna, it sounds some way to take an instruction, but that is how it is done in the corporate institution, that your superior must give you an instruction and you must follow. Sometimes the instructions may sound very foolish, but as a subordinate, you have to take it. Otherwise, you are cited for insubordination. We must all appreciate the cultural background of people. And so it helps us to relate with them better. And in some jurisdictions, you cannot give something to an elder with your left, all right? But the kind of generations we see in our spaces these days, it's okay for them to hand you that paper with their left. How are we positioned as HR practitioners to respond to some of these issues? All right, that is even just the local context before we take it to the international, context. Then obviously the last value you would get, or why you must pursue professional certification, is the fact that it has become a requirement for HR practice at higher levels in Ghana. If you want to work in either the public or the private firm as a director of HR, you must have professional qualification. It can be at the entry level, it can be at the mid-level, or it can be at the senior level, but you must have professional certification to be able to practice at a higher level in Ghana. And see, for these reasons that I have laid out, employers tend to prefer certified candidates. So a candidate, I mean, when you are yet to get into the space, employers tend to prefer these candidates over non-certified candidates. And even whilst you are already in the space and there is promotion, always your professional certification is an added advantage. And so if you're on the call and you are working in an organization, I urge you, for your personal development and for your professional development, it is important for you to add professional certification to that goal. Silas, is it working now? I'm still presenting from the old.
This is the new one.
Okay, right, beautiful. All right, so all along we have been speaking about 3 different certifications running currently at the HR Certification Center. Silas, are you the one switching for me, or I'm the one switching?
I'm switching from my end.
Okay, all right, so we have the Associate Professional in Human Resources. The initials are the aPHRi. We also have the Professional in Human Resources with the initial PHRi. We have the Senior Professional in Human Resources with the credential or the initial as SPHRi. And these 3 are globally recognized certification from the certification body in the USA. And these are standalone certifications. So what we mean by standalone certification is that if you are at a certain level of your HR career, you can choose any of these certifications. So the first one, which is the Associate Professional, comes at the entry level. So you have entry level qualifications. I will take my time to explain the qualifications. You can go through the Associate Professional. Then at the mid-level, you can focus on the professional. Then at the strategic level, you focus on the senior professional. Now let's look at the details of the Associate Professional program. You will be going through 6 different modules, six different modules in 4 months. In 4 months. Your module number 1 is HR operations, module number 2, recruitment and selection, module number 3, compensation and benefits. Number 4 is human resource development and retention. Module number 5 is employee relations, health and safety. Then module number 5 is the labor laws of Ghana. What do you need to qualify for the associate professional level? Simply a first degree in any field, a first degree in any field. Then you don't need any HR experience. You don't have any HR experience, you've not worked in the HR department before, but you have other work experience, you qualify to enroll for the associate professional level. And like I mentioned, it's a standalone, globally recognized qualification from the Human Resource Certification Institute. Your tuition options are solely online, 100% online, and it's on Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Like I mentioned, just a first degree, no HR experience, you qualify to go through the program. What tuition fee are you looking forward to paying? 1,050 Ghana cedis, 1,050 Ghana cedis per month for the 4 months. 1,050 Ghana cedis per month for the 4 months. And when you're ready to write your professional examination fee is $400 US. All right, now let's look at the professional in human resources, which is a PHRi. You would be going through 6 modules, just like the associate level. Your module number 1 is business management. Module number 2, workforce planning and talent acquisition. Module number 3, employee development and engagement. Number 4, total rewards. Module number 5, employee relations and risk management. Module number 6 is labor laws of Ghana. You will do these 6 modules in 6 months. The associate professional 4 months, the professional level 6 months. The professional level is the mid-level HR practitioner. So you are currently practicing at the mid-level of your HR career. What do you need to qualify for this, which is a professional level? A bachelor's degree in any field and 2 years of HR experience. First degree in any field, 2 years of HR experience. Once you have 2 years, you qualify to enroll for this particular level. Your tuition options are 2. You are either studying on Saturdays, physical class, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., or you're doing online Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. The beautiful thing about the HR Certification Center is that you can alternate between the options. So for 6 months, you would have gone through tuition for the professional level. Your tuition fee is $1,400 per month for 6 months, and your examination fee is $495 US. Then the senior professional is looking at HR from the strategic perspective, the strategic level. So you are not only focusing on the HR department, but you have a larger insight or a broader insight into the entire business. You are working with HR strategy, you are working with a company strategy, and you are also looking at how people are aligned together to deliver on where the business is going. Your module number 1 is leadership and strategy. Obviously, you cannot be at the strategic level of your HR career and not understand issues of leadership and strategy. So that will be handled in module number 1. Then in module number 2, workforce planning and talent acquisition. Module number 3, employee development and engagement. Module number 4, total rewards. Module number 5, employee relations and risk management. Then module number 5 is looking at the labor laws of Ghana. So if you notice, all of our certification has module number 6, which is the labor laws of Ghana, because it's a necessary technical requirement for every HR practitioner in Ghana. And let me say jokingly that apart from your Quran, apart from your Bible, and apart from any other religious, document you will be reading, the labor law, if you're an HR practitioner, the labor law should be that's your second favorite. Otherwise, you will be practicing HR out of your emotions, your feelings, and what you think. We will tell you at the HR Certification Center that judgment, when you go to the Labor Commission, or you go to the law court, Judgment is not delivered on your morality. It's neither delivered on your feelings or what you think. It is solely delivered on law. So if you're an HR practitioner and you want to take your companies out of avoidable liability, you must fully appreciate the Labor Act, cover to cover, and take a look at the supporting legislation. All right. So these are the modules for the senior professional class. You need a first degree. If you want to enroll at this level, you need a first degree plus 5 years HR or people management experience. People management experience could mean that you are head of a different department. You have managed the work of people. You are the one involved in recruiting people into your organization. You are the one responsible for their promotion. You have an input or a contribution to how they are rewarded in the organization, how they are disciplined. That we call the people management experience. Oftentimes than not, people think that once I am not in the HR department, I am not doing HR's work. And some HRs actually think that they hire and fire, which is not true. You facilitate the work of the head of department to hire and fire. So if you are an effective HR manager, what you should be doing is that working through heads of department, so they become your other source of HR. So you work through them to get the people management work done properly. So if you're on the call and you are head of a department, head of a unit, head of a business, we see you as a people manager, and that we call the HR experience. So with the first degree and 5 years of that, you qualify to enroll for the senior level certification. Otherwise, you can also present us with a master's plus 4 years of HR or people management experience. Your learning options are 2. Physical options on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., or the virtual option on Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. 6 months of tuition, and we will prep you to sit the professional exam. If you're enrolling for the senior professional certification, your tuition fee is $1,600 per month for 6 months, and your exam fee is $595 when you are ready to write the exam, right? Now, beyond what we teach you, the technicalities of sitting and passing the professional exam, we also will take you through what we call the special workshops. Now, what are we trying to do? We are not only looking for HR practitioners who would sit and pass the exam, have the credentials, and be totally out of touch with what is happening in the organizations, all right? So beyond what we teach you with the 6 modules, we also take you through other workshops to augment your learning and also to upskill you for your practice wherever you find yourself. So the first workshop you will go through is business finance for HR professionals. It is important for us to know that the language of business is finance. Simply put, profit and loss, or simply put, revenue and profits. So every HR person who wants to be strategic and positioned for success must understand business finance. When you sit at that table where the issues of business are being discussed, you must have a voice because you represent the people. And one of the skills you need to build is understanding of business finance. Then the second workshop is Social Security and Pensions Management, what we call here in Ghana SNIT, or Social Security being managed by SNIT. So we help you to appreciate what Social Security is, what pensions management is, and what you can do to help your people to understand Social Security and pensions. Then we take you through workshop number 3, which is Ethics and Integrity Management. Our world has become very funny, where you have a different personality at work and you have a different personality off work. Sometimes you have a different personality in this project team, and you have a different personality on that project team. How do we position people to build integrity? How do we position people to have a professional work ethics, that our word is our bond? This is what we are doing, and that is what we are doing. This is what we told the customer, and that is just what we are giving to the customer. Ethics is becoming a big thing, and every HR professional must be ethical. You must hold yourself accountable for the truth and for things that are coming from a point of integrity, ethical conduct for your business. Then the last workshop we will take you through is HR analytics and metrics. Yes, technology has come to stay. It's become an enabler to help us do our work better, faster, and smarter. And so we must understand how HRs can position to use technology, to use artificial intelligence to analyze. So every data, every activity in the HR function must be analyzed, and we must begin to use that data to make decisions. We must be able to use data to project our businesses, to project our department into the future. All right. Now let's move on to why you must choose HR Certification Center if you're considering certifying as a practitioner. One, we offer you flexible learning options. You have the opportunity to either do in person or online. You also have the fine opportunity to alternate. So this weekend you choose to do in person, the next weekend you can choose to do online. That flexibility is totally given to you. You also have flexible payment options, as I mentioned earlier when we're looking at the certification areas. Secondly, we can boast of experienced faculty. More than 80% of our faculty currently have practiced HR more than 20 years, and all of our faculty are certified HR practitioners themselves. And for those who handle our module number 6, which is the law, have either worked at the National Labor Commission or currently working at the National Labor Commission, or are practicing lawyers in the field of employment. All right. Then over the past 10 years now, we are in our 11th year of operation for the International HR Certification. We have graduated close to 5,000 individuals, and that is a strong alumni we present to you when you join our certification. What is the purpose of this alumni? To help you upskill quickly, to offer you that leverage so you can skip some hurdles in your practice. Once you join our program, you have access to these alumni or this network to benefit from. Then I also spoke about the practical knowledge-based workshops that we do to augment our content areas. And of course, for all of us here, at the end of tuition, we want to certify and have those credentials. And so the center will expose you to multiple mock sessions. Beyond the multiple mock, we also will take you through prep or tutorials just to ground you before you sit for the professional exam. And I don't know who is like me, but I am examphobia. I know, but for funny reasons, I have to psych myself to be sure that I can sit this exam and pass. And I'm sure that a number of us on the call are like me. So coming from this background, we have positioned our facilitators to deliver one-on-one prep towards your exam. So we don't just teach you, and then after 6 months, we tell you go and write the exam. We want to walk with you every step of the way until you sit your exam and have those credentials behind your name. So at the HR Certification Center, that is what we do to ensure that our pass rate is exceptional. And currently we hold an 84% pass rate as a center. What it means is that out of every 100 candidates we present, some 84 will make it at first sitting, and some 16 would have to make it at second sitting. All right. So now we move on quickly to our College of Facilitators. I mentioned that we have experienced facilitators and we don't hide them. We make them available because I know that, every individual is curious. And so we want to quickly go and search, who are their facilitators? When you go on our website, we have our facilitators there. You go on our social media handles, we have our facilitators there. So the lead facilitator is Dr. Jeff Bassi, who is also the founder of the HR Certification Center. He has instructed this program for 11 years. Then we have Yvonne Redu Akpabli, a senior certified professional. We have Stephen Osei Kisi, a former employee of the National Labor Commission. We have Ebonya Miche Allen Kofi, currently the HR director for GEPS. We have Nana Kwabena Yeboah, senior certified professional, currently working as HR director for GCB Bank. We have Nana Ekia, being a senior certified professional. Courage, also a senior certified professional. And Courage is a knowledge expert for the Human Resource Certification Institute. That's a certification body. So for content that they put together, Courage has been doing some contributions to content. Then we have Nina Nkumsa, who is a practicing lawyer. We have Christabel, a certified senior professional. Martha, a senior certified professional. Then we have Mr. Kofi Saki, who is an industry person, a consultant, who has worked with SNIT. So currently he's facilitating that particular workshop for us. We have Prince Kofi Kuwonu, also facilitating our workshops, a senior certified professional. Then we have Mariano Kanse, a senior certified professional. These are the caliber of persons we expose you to when you come to the HR Certification Center. And what we do beautifully is that they don't just teach and go. They are also open for free consultation on your challenges from industry, all right? In about 12 minutes, we will be bringing the presentation to a close. We would open up for questions. So if you currently have questions, we entreat you to type it in the chat column. Silas, is that the case?
Yes, it is. We have a few questions here.
Okay, so you type in your questions into the chat column. We will read them out and provide answers to assist you in making your decision. So on your screen currently, we have a representation of some companies that have gone through our international HR certification. We have the representation of Talo, EcoBank, Olam, MTN, Old Mutual, Ghana Gas, ABSA, Zoom, Lion, GCB. We have Parliament of Ghana, SimLab. We have University of Ghana, Volta River Authority. We have Ghana Water. We have ECG. We have CBG Bank. Simply put, what we want to tell you is that even though we are running the international HR certification, we have both private and public firms coming through to do their certification. And these are just few of the logos that could go on to our presentation, all right? And like I mentioned earlier, close to 5,000 individuals have gone through this certification program. Right, so now let's look at some individuals that have gone through the program. So right on your screen, we have the 2020 certified HRs. Of course, this was the period when we started with the international exam itself. So we have tutored people in the past, and it's until 2020 that we opened up for the exam. So just a few individuals. 2021, the numbers increased, then 2022 also, then 2023, 2024, and when the year is over, we will be presenting you with the 2025 certified candidates. Like I mentioned, almost every information that we are sharing here is fully represented on our website, which is www.phrglobal.com. Also, you have a portal that takes you to our certified candidate. And then all of the information I shared, you can find it there. Now, how do you register? Simply just buy a registration voucher of 200 Ghana cedis using any of our payment platform, either through the Momo payment or through the bank payment. We want to make it very easy for you, stress-free, to be able to go through the registration process. So if you're ready to register, just send a hi with your name. I am ready to register. So if your name is spelled "Hi, my name is Pearl. I want to register," to our admissions hotline, which is 0244 122 855. The number again is 0244 122 855. Immediately that information is gone, an admissions officer will reply and help you through the registration process. Very simple process to go through. Now, this particular information session is leading to our cohort number 44. What it means is that we have done 43 cohorts. The 43rd cohort is currently in session, and for this particular one, the session will start on the 13th of September. That is our cohort number 44, starting 13th of September 2025. Admissions is currently ongoing. All you need to do is send a hi with your name to 0244 122 855, and then our admissions officer will assist you with the registration process. Silas, I'm open for questions. If we have any question from our audience, I'll be more than glad to take that.
All right. Thank you very, very much for such a good presentation, Pearl. So I'd like to encourage and entreat our listeners that the comment section is open for any question that you have. So you can just put the questions in the comment section and we will read it out and answer them.
Right.
So,
Silas, I don't know if I think I failed to mention the fact that we are streaming live on Facebook. So for our audience joining us from Facebook, I think YouTube as well. Are we live on LinkedIn?
We are live on LinkedIn.
Okay, so Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Hello to you. We are open for your questions. You can just type them in your comment section or your chat column. We will be able to see it. We can read it out, and then we provide answers for that.
Okay, very well. So our first question will be from Rachel. Okay. So Rachel is asking, what if your first and second degrees were not in HR?
Okay. So Rachel, that's a good one. For all three certifications, right? You don't need to have a degree in HR. So you can have a first degree in, let's say, administration, or first degree in project management, or first degree in business management. The focus is your work experience must be in HR. So for associate professional, no HR experience. So it doesn't matter if your experience is in project admin. Once you have a first degree, you can do the associate professional. For the professional level, you need the first degree in any field, but 2 years of HR experience to enroll for the professional level. Then the senior level, first degree in any field, 5 years of HR experience or people management experience, then a master's or a master's plus 4 years experience in HR or people management experience. But Rachel, we will be glad to speak with you. You can send your questions again to the number 0244 122 855, and then our admissions officer would reach out either by voice or by WhatsApp to fully appreciate where you're coming from. All right.
Very well. So just to reiterate what you mentioned during your presentation. So HR experience is not only in the role of HR, but in a role that is managing people. So any managerial position qualifies for an HR experience. So the second question we have, Pearl, is from Hannah. So Hannah is asking, hello, please, is there $400 as examination fee for all modules or just one module?
Right. Hannah, you got me right there. Right. It's important for us to do that clarification. So the $400, which is for the associate level, is for all the modules. So now let me clarify the examination process or the examination contest for the international certification. You don't write the exam module by module. So what is done is that you go through 6 months of tuition. When you prep and you are ready for the exam questions are deduced from all of the modules. So for example, for somebody who is sitting the associate professional level, about 90 questions deduced from all the modules put together and is tested at one sitting. So you don't need to write paper one, go and come and write paper two. But you sit, you finish your multiple choice exam, and then right there before you walk out of the examination hall, you know whether you are an associate certified professional or not. It is that simple. So the $400 is for all of the modules, not singles, right?
Okay, so Hannah writes again, please, for aPHRi, how does one get a role in HR after completion, since it does not require any work experience? Can one start with an internship to gain practical experience before applying for the role? That's a good question.
Okay. All right. So Hannah, what I mentioned about the associate professional is that you need a first degree in any field, but you don't need HR experience. So if you have a 1 year experience in another field, 2 years experience in another field, 3 years experience in another field, once it's not HR, you go through the associate professional. So we take it to mean that you already have some work experience before enrolling for the associate level. Is that correct? Is that clear, Hannah?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes, I think it's a very clear response to that.
So
Okay.
Silas, what we may want to do is to engage with Hannah. I'm sure she would have follow-up questions. So Hannah can reach out to us on the 0244-122-855. Then we can assist her with the follow-up questions. We want to give opportunity for others to also come up with their questions, right?
Yes. So Hannah, the number is still on the screen. You can just take it and then reach out to us. We'll do well to answer every other question you have. So Gloria wants to find out, can you in the future include public speaking for HR practitioners?
Okay, I think that's a beautiful one. Hannah is looking at possibly building confidence and ability to make business presentations.
Yes,
we cannot include it technically in our certification because it's not a learning area. But right at the HR Certification Center, we do other webinars. So we have a program currently running called the National HR Mentorship Program. In there, we have personal brand management, public speaking, all of those soft skills, all right? You can also engage with us on our social media handles and look out for some of our free workshops that we do just to build confidence for either the HR manager or any other business executive or all of our community on social media. So Gloria, join our online community. You can check that on our social media handles, HR Certification Center, and you would be benefiting a lot from joining those platforms, right?
Exactly. And same from another question from Gloria. So Gloria wants to know, what is the model of examination and the duration?
Right. So Gloria, like I mentioned, the international HR certification questions are multiple choice exams, and they are all tested in one sitting. So questions are drawn from all of the modules put together in one examination sitting, and you're expected to take that. If you're doing the associate professional, it's a total of 90 questions, 1 hour and some minutes. The professional level is a total of 115 questions, I think 2 hours, 45 minutes. And then the senior professional is a total of 140 questions in 3 hours and 15 minutes, if I am not mistaken. So that is how the exam is done. But let me also let you know that before you sit for the international exam, right from orientation, all of these things are made known to you. We help you to appreciate the examination through the multiple mock sessions you'll be going through. So before you sit in that examination hall, you are well accustomed to how the exam is done. You have a grip on your timing because the exam is timed. So right from here, we also help you with timing yourself, and then you can now confidently go sit for the professional exam.
So Pearl, once we have already touched on this topic, I believe someone might also have another question on the mood of the exam. I'd like us to just briefly touch on it. Will it be online? Is it supposed to be in person? Is it what is the mode of exam?
Okay, so yes, Silas, the examination, like I mentioned, multiple choice, and it is always e-based. E-based simply means that you have to write the exam on a computer. All right. So you have to go. So currently for Ghana, the testing center is the Total House. So the Total House is where the Total Energies filling station is, adjacent CD House, almost opposite British Council. That is the testing center. I now understand that another testing center has been added for Ghana. It's called the IPMC Center at Circle. That is one of the latest ones that have been added. And so you have to prep yourself, appear at the testing center, and then you log on to a computer system. The exam is open before you, and then you take your test. So right after taking your test, you are able to have your score either right before you on the screen or printed for you before you walk out of the examination hall. Then the other part is for people who want to test solely online. So maybe at the comfort of your home or at the comfort of your office or wherever, you need to be assured of a reliable internet service. Then you can take the exam online. But the exam is e-based, computerized, right?
Very well. Thank you very much for touching on that. So Emma wants to find out, what level do you register for with a degree in HR and about 3 years of secretary or administration experience?
Associate professional level.
Once
well. Your HR experience is not up to 2 years, you start from the associate professional level. And like I mentioned, a globally recognized credential, and it's a standalone certification. So you can do that and use it to practice as long as you want. And then, for those who are Oliver Twist, you can also come back later to do a higher certification. Yes.
All right, it's already 5 p.m. and our time is fast spent. I have a few more questions, so
let's take it. I'm sure they can indulge us for the next 6 minutes. Then we close at 5.
Okay, so then let's take Philippa. Philippa wants to know, please, are we taught only to write exams, or we will be taught how to write business proposals, contract agreements, etc.?
Right. So like I mentioned to our audience from the beginning, we are not only focusing on you passing the exam and having the credentials. What is the essence of being called a certified HR when you cannot prove your worth in the business you are practicing with? And so for us, we have a blend focus. The credentials, yes, because that is what you're paying us for, but we also want you to be fully grounded. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a space where people still regard HR as personnel managers. We want to be able to erase that notion from people's mind. So one of the mandates we have put on ourselves is to ensure that the HR community is formidable. We can only become formidable with knowledge and how we execute that knowledge. So beyond having the credentials, we focus loads of attention on making sure that you have the necessary skills to do the work of HR. So we can assure the person asking the question that after you go through the module one by one, by the time you exit the 6 months, we will come back and ask you whether you are confident to practice HR or not. And we expose you to loads of testaments from our past candidates on our social media platforms, all right?
Okay, Philippa. So Pearl just wants you to understand that you are in good hands. So I'll project our next question from Emma. I can't tell if it's Emma or Ima, but the person would want to know, after the 6 months, is it possible to wait and take the exam the next year?
Very possible. Very possible. So one of the beautiful things about the international certification is that you have the flexibility to choose when you want to write the exam. So you can study this year and say, oh, for me, I want to take the next 6 months, the next 8 months to prepare. But one of the cautions we would give is be sure you do not disconnect with what you learned in the classroom, because a lot of people will say, oh, it's been a while I studied, so I'm not confident that I still appreciate the information, and they lose the, that confidence to take the exam. We would always let you know that even if you're not writing immediately, keep preparing yourself and build your confidence for the exam. So you can take the exam anytime you are ready.
Yeah, that's true. And Georgina also wants to find out. She said, I did my first degree in education. Can I do the HR course?
So, Georgina, we want to understand if you're currently practicing. Do you have any work experience with the degree you have? Once you have any form of experience, you can start from the associate level. That is, if those experiences are not in HR. So the basics of the professional HR certification is that we want to validate your knowledge in HR. So if you do not have any knowledge in HR, then we want to take you through the foundational certification, which is the associate professional. So you have a first degree, work experience in any other field other than HR. You will go through the foundational certification, which is the aPHRi. So Georgina, please do send us a WhatsApp on the number and let's engage you further to understand your qualifications.
Okay. Mabel wants to find out, is it an objective question or written? So Mabel, I believe this was mentioned during the submission. So it's purely objectives. So A, B, C, D, you just pick and then you have. Okay, so this will be our last question. And William wants to find out, can one defer after enrolling and come back to complete later? This is an interesting question.
It's possible. It's possible to do that because we are working with busy professionals, and we understand that sometimes we are willing, but work will take us out and give us all sort of assignment, and so it's possible to defer and come back to finish.
Okay, so thank you very much, Pearl, for your time, and I would like to thank our audience also for indulging us for the past 1 hour and some 8 to 9 minutes. You have been wonderful audience, and we wish to hear from you. So the number to reach the HR Certification Center is 0244 122 855. And when you reach out to us, our administration officer will be on the line to be able to assist you. Moving forward,
Silas, before you move forward, let me just give my concluding statement. I have to jump off the call now. So I want to let our audience know that the practice of HR is a big deal. And one of the things I would always encourage my audience is that commit to learning in whatever form, micro, macro, commit to some form of learning. You may not have the opportunity to do the professional certification now. Away from the professional certification, the HR Certification Center also offers other programs, and we do a lot of learning on our social media handles. So if you are not following us, this is a fine opportunity for you to follow our social media handles, HR Certification Center on all platforms, and let's engage in learning. Every opportunity you have, commit to learning. I wish you well, and thank you. I hand you over to Silas.
Thank you very much, Pearl. We are very grateful for your time once again. So this is all time will permit us to do for now. But we'll be very, very willing and grateful to hear from you. Our number is 0244 122 855. And this has been the information session for HR certifications. If you have any questions, or if you are looking for more knowledge in the HR industry or the HR space, do well to follow us on all social media platforms. Our handles are currently rolling down the screen. Do well to follow us and then keep in touch. Let's get engaged and let's continue learning. Thank you once again and have a wonderful evening.
Why do 93% of the world's leading multinational companies prefer certified professionals? Because they tend to be committed to higher standards and ethics and maintain an informed intercultural competency. Whether you're seeking to build a career or to upgrade your HR professional career, you need to get trained and certified at the HR Certification Center today. Our experience in training and certifying HR professionals is unparalleled. We're trusted to offer a comprehensive portfolio of advanced professional credentials for the HR professionals worldwide, and today, more than 500,000 HR professionals worldwide in 125 plus countries proudly maintain our credentials as a mark of higher professional distinction. HR Certification Center. Call or WhatsApp today on 0244 122 855.
HR Certification Center commits to a higher standard. HR Certification Center commits to a higher standard. HR Certification Center commits to a higher standard.